So while scrolling through Twitter, I came across this tweet that we're going to go through here, which was coming from Vito on Twitter, talking about a clip that he was responding to from Eric July's show on his channel. Now, I want to react to the clip, so we'll show that too, but I want to go over the tweet first. It is so obvious Eric has no clue what goes into the creative side of making comic books. All he does is cut YouTube promos and sign checks. For instance, my own work on Super Killer 1 has been finished for months, while I wait on the rest of the team to finish up their work. I've already moved Super Killer 2 into production. The idea that a minor delay indicates a lack of discipline is just silly, especially from a guy who isn't doing any of the actual work himself. Now, this is Vito responding to this clip, which I'll play here.
Motherfucker, if he spent half the fucking time, he ain't hell a quarter of the time working on his own shit as he did talking about me, maybe that shit would be done. And the funny thing is the cope, because the cope is gonna be, well, I'm just trying not to rush. Shut the fuck up. No, you're not disciplined. It requires nothing of you to deliver a product when you said you was gonna deliver the product. Yes, hiccups happen and all that shit, but hiccups shouldn't delay your shit for half a year. It just shouldn't do that.
So, here's the thing. People pointed out in the thread here, I believe the first one I saw was Richard here. Yeah, he responded with, "This is more of a shot at EVS. I agree, though. When you have a new IP, you want to take your time and make sure the correct feel and tone is established, because once it's out, it's forever," which is obviously what Vito is sort of trying to get through there as well. But I think what Richard points out here is that this isn't just a shot at Vito, it's a shot at EVS. Now, I do think he's kind of taking a shot at both of them.
Just shouldn't do that. Something had to go disastrously wrong for that to happen. That's fucking hilarious. That's fucking hilarious. That's discipline. That's a lack of discipline. That's what that is. Let's call it for what it is. There's no, oh, well, you're just trying to really, it's perfection. I just don't want to. No. You're just not working. That's an ethic problem. That's a discipline problem.
That, to me, is the part that is a jab, not at EVS, but at Vito. And I'm not sure if everybody watching this agrees with me, but I feel like that's directed at Vito more so because Vito made the argument and other people made the argument about perfection and trying to get the book to be better, and that's why it takes longer.
You are showing your audience that you would much rather talk about other shit and do other shit as opposed to work on the product that they paid for. That's all that is. It ain't got nothing to do with rush jobs, and that's a cope. That's a cope because you see someone else delivering, right, on their products, and there's many of us out here, right, that are delivering on the products it is that we said. That's what that is. That's a discipline issue. That's a discipline issue, and you don't take your job serious. No motherfucker should be doing all this talking and streaming all the fucking time with product that's in the works and being delayed for half a year. That's unacceptable. That's fucking unacceptable.
That last part, to me, is directed back at EVS. Now, we'll continue on in Vito's thread here. If I wanted to, I could take a picture of my asshole, copy it 50 times, and put it out as a book that would be on par with the quality of Isom #1. But the mere act of getting a product to market is not a fucking accomplishment in itself. You have to actually make something good, you dummy. Let's be clear, you had $4 million and couldn't even spell your characters' names correctly. You're in no position to brag about how quick you can churn out this error-filled trash. Now, with this, Vito shares this thread, which we're going to click on here. This is thread, every minor editorial error in Isom #2. And this is going through a bevy of issues with the book, some of which have now been responded to by even EVS, calling out certain parts of the panels where it seems as though assets were used, basically, which is something that you shouldn't see in a book with this much money behind it, in my opinion, and I would argue in most people's opinion in the comic world. But But it didn't stop there, because Vito then quote tweeted himself, responding with this reminder that Chuck Dixon's Rambo comic has been delayed for almost 6 months now. I really hope Eric July gives him a stern talking to about discipline. To be clear, I don't care about small indie projects getting delayed, but apparently it makes the new king of indie comics furious. Now, I have to be honest here. I think this is a perfect example that Vito has brought to light here, because obviously Chuck Dixon is working with Eric July, and Chuck Dixon is a comic creator that I would argue is seen as very good. But of course, here he is taking 6 months. But here he is taking a 6 months delay on a product that's already been funded to the tune of $232,000. So that's what I mean in this thumbnail when I say that this backfired on Eric, because frankly, I think this just shows people that really, if you want to hold this standard of claiming that this is due to discipline, then you're going to have to hold it across the board. And I don't think you can really afford to do that, considering a lot of the people that Eric surrounds himself with are indie comic creators who understand the delays in work happen, sometimes for natural reasons and sometimes because people just want a better product to be released. I, again, would much rather wait for something that's decent than get something that's shit right away. But I don't know. Maybe you guys, but I don't know. You guys give me your opinion in the comment section down below. What would you rather do? Wait 6 months to get a product that was decent, or get one that had errors immediately?